Hello, everyone. Welcome to another conversation here with BGSF. My name is Eric Peters. I'm the division president of our professional services operations here. And I've got the pleasure to speak to a good friend of mine today, Rod McDaniel with S3 Recycling. And Rod, I thought of you because BGSF, we're celebrating green initiatives this month in reference to Earth Day, and particularly focusing around the IT sector, green jobs and green initiatives. And I got to tell you, I thought about when we first met and that first time you took us around your warehouse, and I saw the operation that you and our good friend Daryl Freeman had started, and I was wowed. And I thought of this today, and I thought it was a good initiative for us to highlight what you guys are doing there at S3. And thanks for joining me today, man. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, Eric, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And yeah, we've got that 75,000 square foot facility here in Springfield. It's one of those things when you hear about recycling, you really don't know. You really don't know what to expect when you're coming to our facility. And so when people come in, they're always somewhat surprised. I see it every day, so it's not that surprising or sexy to me, but yeah, it's definitely always get a wow factor.
Yeah, totally, man. When I walked in the first time, I said, wow, the mechanics of this thing and how it works was just awesome. So for those that maybe are not familiar with S3 and not familiar with what happens in recycling in the IT industry, why don't you walk us through S3, a little bit of the history and just what you guys do for those that aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, S3 is an electronics recycling company. We help businesses and organizations recycle their end-of-life IT equipment. So just to give you kind of a background of what we would do, we've got a fleet of trucks that we've got a nationwide footprint on. We'll go and pick that equipment up directly from a client. Our clients call us the easy button because when we get there, we do all the heavy lifting. We'll put it in our trucks, get it back to our facility here in Springfield, where we do the inventory audit for compliance purposes. We're doing the secure data destruction, and then that's where our recycling process goes in, where we're refurbishing it and then giving that device a second life.
Yeah. And, you and I got introduced through a mutual friend of ours, Daryl Freeman. We acquired one of Daryl's companies, Zycron, back in 2017. And when we got connected, it was so funny. Daryl's sitting there saying, Eric, you guys are working with companies that are moving off of servers, going to the cloud, going through various hardware upgrade initiatives, and they need resource help. And S3 is working with these companies to talk through some of those initiatives. And so we've had an interesting partnership that working through a lot of these recycling goals that these organizations have. Can you tell us a little, Rod, like what are you seeing in the market right now? When you meet with a customer, what are some of the demands that they have, and what are some of the initiatives as people look at creating, better ecosystem, working with the environment, not just throwing things away per se. And I know there's a lot of data protection and data security that goes through what you guys do.
Yeah. That's a great point. One of the things that, that's getting thrown around a lot is ESG, those three letters, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about an organization like S3, we touch on all three of those initiatives. So you got the E in environmental. Companies are looking at ways to reduce their carbon footprint. And by using a company like us, we're able to help them do that, right? And so then you've got the S, the social aspect. Companies are actively looking at ways to give back. That's one of the things that you guys do well over at BGSF. And then they're also looking at ways to be a better workplace for their team members. So that social aspect, we're seeing that grow a lot within a lot of the prospective clients and current clients that we're using, just trying to be better at that. And then you've got the governance aspect, and that's how a company is ran from a compliance standpoint. And then, from we're also seeing a hybrid approach using the cloud, which presents opportunities to recycle equipment.
I know we're going to show probably a couple of pictures here to our viewers. Tell us about the truck, Rod, because when you and I had dinner in Dallas and you were bringing the truck out to one of your client locations, I was just dumbfounded. I said, "What do you mean you bring this truck out?" Tell us about the truck a little bit.
Yeah, the truck is pretty cool. It was actually Daryl's. I call it Daryl's baby. He was very excited about this truck. So this is a standalone shredding truck. There's only 6 of these that are made in the country. It's got a hard drive shredder in it, and it's got a generator the size of a vehicle inside of it. And this thing will shred 2,000 hard drives an hour. 2,000. Just for fun, when we got it, we started putting computers in there as well. And I mean, this thing will eat up a computer. It's a pretty cool device. We do a lot of work with data centers, so they want their equipment or their drives completely shredded. And so that was why we invested in this truck that will drive across the country shredding drives.
Super cool, man. The first time I saw it in action, I thought, man, who would have thought you can go on site and do all this work? And that makes your customer feel secure because they're not shipping equipment across the country and watching it being recycled or destroyed or whatever. It's on site. So super cool truck, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the data destruction aspect of our business is core. It's one of the core things to it. So giving our customers a peace of mind is one of our top priorities.
Talk to us just for a minute. I know we're going to show some pictures of your warehouse, but a lot of what you do in recycling and refurbishing and putting some of this equipment back to use. Can you just talk about that for a minute or two?
Yeah, I think that's the magic in what we do. There's obviously the data aspect to our business, but you've got the refurb portion of it. And the refurb portion of it that's the heartbeat of our business. And so we get that equipment in. We've got trained technicians on site. It's a 75,000 square foot facility here. So that equipment kind of goes through and goes out. We're receiving about 25,000 devices a month, and we'll go through and refurbish those. And they go through light refurbishing. And then we'll put those on an e-commerce site where they would then get resold and recirculated back into the marketplace. And that lowers us creating new devices so that these current devices can get a second life.
Rod, we've had many conversations about this. I think our viewers would be interested in how did you get into this business? I mean, you're passionate about this, man. You speak at conferences. You're involved with a lot of different network associations through Tennessee and beyond. How'd you get into this business, and how'd you get so passionate about it?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that. So, you know this, Eric. I grew up in housing projects here in Nashville. So technology itself is one of those things that saved my life. It helped me get out of the circumstances, and so I use that as my talking points and things that it does get me excited because it changed my life, and I think it can do the same thing for others. So while I was in high school, I got some IT certifications, and that's how I got into IT. And then eventually started working at S3 in 2010, and then led an investor group to buy S3 in 2016. So it's been a pretty cool journey, going from nothing to having over 50 employees and 300 clients nationwide, and some Fortune 500 clients on our list. And it's been a great journey.
Yeah, I think your story is so impactful and so inspiring because we, like you, share the same belief that you've got to start at the high school level. You've got to start actually before that and educate people that there's a great career in IT. And your story coming up through the projects and coming up the way that you have, and now seeing all the awards that you get and the accolades. I'm so proud of you, man, because you are certainly a business leader in the community. And it leads me to the last point I want to bring up, our friend Daryl Freeman. I'd be remiss if I didn't just at least connect some dots there for a lot of our viewers who know Daryl in the greater Tennessee area. When what impact did Daryl have in your life? Of course, in the business as an investor and being a business mentor, but can you talk about that just for a minute for some of our viewers?
Yeah, Daryl, I think everyone knows this, but I'll repeat it. Daryl was the S3 board chairman and founder of Zycron. He came on as the board chair in 2016 and has been instrumental and was instrumental in our growth. I mean, we've been on the Inc. 5000 list 3 consecutive years. And that's because of my relationship with him. I think more importantly, you know, Daryl over the years became a friend, brother, mentor, business partner. And I owe a lot of my growth as a CEO to him. But I'd be remiss to say that, like, I think the most important thing that I admire about Daryl was his relationship with his wife. He's a family man, and that's one of the things that inspires me the most. That inspired me the most about Daryl. You know, he had all the accolades, but it's very inspiring to see someone at his level continue to put family first. And that's kind of one of our core values here at S3 is community. And the community is our family and the people we serve. And so that's one of the things that inspired me when meeting Daryl.
Yeah, and that resonated when you and I first met. We're a people first organization as well. We're a family first organization, and you and I share a lot of the same beliefs. Hey, Rod, I want to thank you for joining us today. We're so proud to be a partner with you out there in the market and these initiatives that you're tackling around recycling and again, in reverence to Earth Day and what we're celebrating here at BGSF. Thank you for joining us. I want to give it to you for any kind of closing remarks or anything you want to finish with for the audience.
Yeah, Eric, I'd like to thank you and BGSF for your commitment to the community. You guys are doing a lot of great work. I know it's not a requirement for a company to do that. And you guys have really stepped in and done some great work here locally and throughout the country. And then also for helping companies like companies and organizations like S3 grow. I think that's important. And then lastly, for keeping Daryl Freeman's legacy going. You guys, you know, you didn't just come in and purchase a company. You came in and involved yourself into our community. And I think that is very important. It's one of those things that I think is needed from companies. And I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for the kind words. And in memory of our friend, as he always said, what are you going to do about it? So you and I will keep doing things about it. We'll live his legacy through that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Keep up the great work, man. Congrats, S3.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.